Right now, black culture is being held captive by influences, songs, and role models. I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't. I don't think that songs that are talking about, like, glorifying wet female genitalia is exactly... I don't know which one wrote that song. Which one was it?
I think it was Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
We won't be silenced ever again. We will speak up for Christians wherever they are in this world. Amen.
Amen.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and before I played that video, you seen the opening video where Charlie Kirk was saying or being critical of the WAP songs with Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B. Now, Nicki Minaj didn't make that song. I think she was on a remix. I think she was even in the video somewhere. However, MAGA is doomed. One, not for being racist necessarily, right? They're doomed because everybody's calling them out on their inconsistencies and their contradictions. Now, he said because of his Christian values and right, the black community is being held captive, right? Which I don't think he should have started. That's what got him smoked. Starting off talking about shit that didn't matter, like wasn't tailored to him. The fuck you mean the black community? I live in the black community. It's not captive by lewd and lascivious songs. Let's stop playing that fucking game. But he was laying out like Christian moral principles. So the fact that his wife has now put this Jezebel up on stage to, I guess, I don't know, people are saying she's a spokesperson for MAGA or some shit. I don't know about all that, but the fact that she brung her out is in direct contradiction to her to the Christian white nationalist movement, right? Now, don't get me wrong, she has a point. No Christians to be persecuted, right? Right message, wrong messenger, especially for MAGA. Like, that's like me bringing out Ron Jeremy to talk about two-parent households. Why the fuck would I do that? That's like me bringing out John Holmes to talk about treating women with respect. Why would you do that? That's like me bringing out Snoop Dogg to get on stage to talk about respecting women and not being misogynistic, which I don't necessarily think him saying we don't let them hoes is misogynistic. You don't like the hoes, not necessarily the women. However, you get the drift, right? Bad messenger, right message, bad messenger. If you want to promote this Christian, right-wing, upstanding, two-parent household, non-LGBT, non-degenerate culture, you should have brought somebody out like Reba McEntire or Celine Dion, or I don't know, just somebody that proves that. Not people putting out songs talking about making Wayne or Drake eat a cupcake out their ass. I ain't gonna lie, I would do that. However, this makes Turning Point USA just look dumb as a conglomerate group. It makes Erika Kirk like, basically it makes her look like a bad widower or widow, because it shits on everything he stood for. And I would think if you trying to follow in the steps of keeping somebody's memory alive, that you wouldn't do something in direct opposition to their beliefs. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got it wrong, right? And it's not that she black, and I have no problem with black MAGA. You have a whole bunch of liberals talking about black people that support the Republican Party or self-hating Sambos and yada yada yada. I just had to defend my position on Threads, right? The bullshit fake Twitter, Instagram app. Some dude's gonna say, because I gave Mark Ruffalo shit for him not following up in the role as the Hulk. They decided not to bring him on. I said because he was too fucking liberal, and he got him out of here. To which somebody said, I find it amazing when a black person is a conservative. First of all, most black people are conservative. Actually, the degenerate liberal black people you see is actually the minority, not the majority of black people, regardless of two-parent households, which is another issue that I could debunk, but that's neither here or there. And I've stated in a previous video, most black people just demonize the Republicans because of the Iran-Contra scandal under Ronald Reagan. Before that, a lot of black people voted Republican. Before 1975, most black people were Republican. So this notion that black people can't be Republican is stupid in itself. However, as a black person, I don't know if I would align myself with MAGA, JD Vance, or even Donald Trump. Not because they're conservatives, because they're idiots that represent the right wing. Not even that. Donald Trump actually was a fucking Democrat. So the fact that he's cosplaying as a Republican and got all these hillbilly ass rednecks following behind him and all these white nationalists, they're dumb. But he said that on the Oprah Winfrey show 30 years ago. So, right. And then racism isn't logical or even intelligent. So then there's that too. But yeah, bringing Nicki Minaj out was a bad look for them. It shits on Charlie Kirk's legacy. Not that I give a fuck about his legacy. I'm just saying, objectively speaking, if you're gonna do something, you might not want to shit all over, have your partner, the person that claimed that they loved you, had children by you, shit all on your legacy. Not only that, this actually reinforces that she might be fucking JD Vance because she's shitting on his legacy. Hey, but who am I to point out the obvious? And like I always say, never let logic get in the way of a good scam. On a side note though, everybody shitting on the George Floyd statue. They said that there's talks about them building a statue of Charlie Kirk in the country's capital. So this country is going to hell in a handbag even further, but I digress. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out.